Hey, here we go. It's time for Chapter 1 test. You should have the review sheet in front of you, so let's go. For each of these, you're writing an algebraic expression. I'll just show a couple of these, and we'll see how it goes. Actually, this is just the first two. So, like number 2, the product of 5 and twice a number. The product of 5 and twice a number. So that would be the product of 5 and twice a number, which to me just says 10x. Number 1 has the sum of a square of a number and 34. So the square of a number would be, yeah, that's great, x squared plus 34. So you'll have a couple like that that'll show up. Number 3, write a verbal expression for that. At least you would have 4 times n cubed plus 6. That would be what I would do there. Now we get a little more interesting here with the evaluate part, because this is where order of operations starts. So I have to go in here and look at the stuff inside the parentheses first. Doesn't matter which one of these I do, but I'm going to do 15 minus 7. That'll be an 8. Then there's 4 divided by 2. That's 2. Now those are still both in parentheses, and outside I have this 2 cubed. And then there are the brackets I said that never show up. So I still need to go inside the parentheses here. 8 times 2 would be 16. And then that is going to be times 2 to the third. So that's 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2 is 8. There we go. Ooh. And then finally, 8 times 16. Let's see, 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 6 is 48. I believe that's 128. There you go. And then on the last one here, evaluate this if W is 4, V is 5, and T is 2. So I'm going to take W, or the 4, put it in there, and do that. So I think those are pretty self-explanatory, and the ones in the test will be very similar. Let's go on to the next one. 6 and 7 says name the property used in each equation, then find the value of n. Alright, so pretty sure for number 5, or 6 here, 5 plus 0 is 5. And I think that would be the additive identity. So it wouldn't be bad to look back over those properties before the test. The second one has 7 plus 4 plus 6 equals 7 plus n. So they're not asking you to solve the whole thing here. They just want to know what n is, and that would be 10. And the property here, I would call it a substitution property, because all you're really doing is substituting 10 for 4 plus 6. So there you go. Let's keep rolling right along. This one says evaluate and then name the property used in each step. Sorry, I'm just changing my color here. Alright, property used in each step. So for this, if I have 4, 5 times 1 divided by 20, so if I go inside the parentheses here, going left to right, 5 times 1 is 5. And the property they're looking at, it would be the multiplicative identity, because you're doing 5 times 1. But, my favorite one also works for that too. You are doing a substitution. Then you have 5 divided by 20. That's correct. It is 5 divided by 20. And we have 4 out here. And 5 divided by 20 is the same as 5 over 20. That is not a step. That's just writing 5 divided by 20 another way. Simplifying that, you would get 1 divided by 4. There's a 5, 1 5 up here, 4 5s down here. That is a substitution property. And now you actually do get a property here because you have 4 times 1/4. That looks like the one that we called the multiplicative inverse. So there's that. Let me clean up and then we'll continue. 9. 3 times 14 minus 5. Rewrite using the distributive property, then simplify. Here I'm going to do it the way they want you to, which is to write it as, oh, that's lovely, 3 times 14 minus 3 times 5. That's what they're looking for. To me, I'm looking at that going, okay, that's 14 minus 5 using order of operations. 14 minus 5 is 9 times 3. We should end up with an answer of 27. 3 times 14, let's see, I believe that's 42 minus 15. And they're both going to equal 27. That's what they want for the rewriting part. So, there you go. Now we're simplifying each expression. And I'm actually going to make that a little bigger so you can see it. Simplifying each expression, these two are both w's. This one here, that is w squared. I can't do anything with that. But I can do 15w minus 6w to get 9w, and the 14w squared doesn't change anything. 11, looks like first thing I have to do is distributive property. Right, multiply by both. 7 times 2y, 14y. 7 times 1 is 7, 3y. Now the things here that I can combine the y's. The 14y and the 3y, and I should get 17y plus 7. There you go. Moving right along. Alright, 12 and 13 just says evaluate each expression. And again, you know that there's always something they're looking for. So I know that those two go together very well to make 40, and this goes together very well to make 20. So 40, 20, I got 60 for that. Now again, they're looking in 13 at things that go together well. Now I know that half of 4 is 2, and a third of 9 would be 3. That's the same as 9 divided by 3, and that's 3. So I have 3 times. Now these are all times. So 3 times 2, I should have an answer of 6. 2 ways to look at number 14. Find the solution. Find the solution to this. Ooh, hello, there we go. Find the solution to that if you're using these answers. Now you can do it by sticking each one in there and see if you get the right answer. Or you could just solve it, because if I was doing this, I would just go right to the equation and say, I think I'm adding 13 to each side, and that's going to be 5b equals, see, this cancels, so it looks like I have 25, sorry, can't add, 35 on the other side. 5b equals 35, divide by 5, divide by 5, b equals 7. There you go. And then the final one here has just a lovely, lovely thing. And let me clean up and then we'll go with that one. So, following my order of operations, I'm going to do this exponent first, right here. That's going to be 9, and that's times 4 plus the 6. Still over 7, and I still have this minus 1 equals y. Okay? Now I need to do, can't do the adding yet, you have to do the multiplication. To make that 36 plus the 6. So that's going to be 42. 42, and I still have it over 7. So I added those together, 42 over 7. That is 6. I still have the minus 1. The answer should be 5. Alright, for questions 16 and 17, we're using the graph. Independent and dependent variables. Alright, independent is always x, dependent is always y. Independent is time, dependent is temperature. Temperature depends on what time it is. Name the ordered pair at point C and explain what it represents. Point C, that ordered pair right there, should be 8, comma, 87. 7. Here we go. Remember, do the x part first, that's the 8, and then the 87, where it lines up. Well, what does it represent? It was 87 degrees at 8 a.m. Whew! That does not sound like a fun day to me. Write the data set. Oh, sorry, 18. Write the data set write the data as a set of ordered pairs. This is airmail letter rates to Greenland. It should make sense since this one would be X. This would be X and this would be Y. That the rate goes up because the weight gets higher. I'm going to be super lazy for this. Here are my ordered pairs. Here's another ordered pair. X, comma, Y. You could be really neat about this and rewrite them, but I'm just trying to get through it for you. Okay, so now you're supposed to draw a graph that shows the relationship between the weight of a letter sent airmail and the total cost. Well, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go over here to where it says 5, and I'm going to go up to 420, which is going to look a little bit off with my large points. 6 is 505, 7 is 590, and then 8 is 675. There you go. Interpret the end behavior of the function. If you look at the book answer for this, this is exactly what it says. As the weight of the letter increases, the cost increases. So it's saying the end behavior as this goes up, as the weight goes up, so does the total cost. There you go. Now I'm going to guess that this hasn't taken that long, and so actually you could do this as a challenge right now today and see if you could get it. It says use grouping symbols, exponents, and symbols for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with the digits 1, 9, 8, 7 in that order to form expressions that will yield each value. So the idea is this: 1, 9, 8, 7. Is there a way you can do things with everything they show up there to get these answers? You know, so like for example, if I would do 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7, I would get 25, and that's not one of the choices. Okay? Let's get rid of that. What if I did like 1 plus 9 minus 8? So 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 2 plus 7 would give you 9. Alright? Now, one of these is really hard. And see what you can do. See if you can get A and B. A is not bad, except they use a symbol in a weird way. B is kind of hard. Just see what you can do. See if you can get them. There you go. And test will be Monday.